Meta just changed the ad game forever. Meet Andromeda, Meta's new AI ad retrieval system that's revolutionizing performance on Facebook and Instagram. But what does this mean for advertisers in 2025 and beyond? I'm about to show you how Meta's new AI engine is revolutionizing Facebook and Instagram ads, and the one thing that you need to do differently to take advantage of it. But before I get to that, let's talk about how Meta ads used to work. In years past, success with Meta ads was really about your skills as a media buyer. That meant you had to do things like manual targeting, prospecting campaigns for top of funnel, and retargeting campaigns for bottom of funnel. And if you didn't know what settings needed to be changed, you could very easily tank your performance, not through any fault of your ad creatives, but just because you didn't have the right settings for your campaigns. Fast forward to today, and the game is less about doing lots of tweaking and changing of the settings in the account, and more about letting Meta's AI do the heavy lifting for you. That means AI-driven broad targeting, consolidated account structure, and less manual retargeting. And that makes a lot of sense when you think about it. As a human advertiser, you really don't have that much data to work off of to make these kinds of decisions around who to target and what types of ads are going to speak to different levels of awareness for your audience. Meta's AI, on the other hand, has an enormous pool of data, and it's growing every single day. And you can be pretty sure that that AI is going to make a better decision than you as a human are going to make 999 times out of 1,000. And just to show you what I mean in the context of Andromeda, this is from Meta's engineering site. Andromeda is able to efficiently scale retrieval models by designing a highly customized deep neural network with sublinear inference cost, enabling a meaningful increase of model capacity for enhanced personalization. Complex latent relationships between people's interests, products, and services offered through ads are captured through advanced interaction features and new algorithms, further enhancing recommendation relevance and accuracy. Now that's a lot of technobabble, but here's what you need to know. Andromeda can process 10,000 times the amount of data compared to previous models, which means it can make a better judgment on behavior patterns and predict the types of ads that people are likely to respond to. It can then sort through a massive pool of ads to find the ones that are most likely to convert at that specific time with that exact impression. The end result is that each user sees the exact right ad for them at exactly the right time. Now, obviously, this helps advertisers get better results, but it also creates a better experience for users on the platforms of Facebook and Instagram. In fact, Meta's own research has already showed that Andromeda's rollout led to a 6% improvement in ad recall and 8% higher ad quality scores. It's really a win-win scenario when you think about it. But before you get too excited about this, there's something that you should know. In order to take full advantage of this technology, businesses need to double down on creative volume and creative diversity like never before. To understand why creative volume and diversity are so key and matter so much more with the release of Andromeda, let's imagine that we're fishing. The more types of bait that you have when you go fishing, the more types of fish you can ultimately catch. The same is true for ads. The more creative variety you have, the more audience segments you can attract and ultimately convert. That's because some people within your audience are more likely to respond to different visuals or different headlines or different hooks. Some people might click on video ads more than image ads, and vice versa. Some people respond to humor, while others prefer direct offers or comparison style ads. The more of those diverse creatives that you can feed into the algorithm, the more it can personalize the experience for your audience, so that those different segments get exactly what they need to convert, which ultimately is going to allow you to scale. In other words, advertisers who provide more diverse creatives will simply get more shots on goal. Now let's look at how this plays out in the real world. Let's say you've got 10 to 15 ads in a campaign that's spending $300 a day. You might think you've got some good diversity in there, but consider this. The algorithm will probably only pick 1 to 2 winners from that group and allocate most of your budget there. Those other 8 to 14 losers will get very little spend. Now, this creates a few problems. Number one is ad fatigue. Repeated exposure reduces engagement over time. So if your audience is seeing the same limited set of winners again and again, you're going to end up fatiguing those creatives a lot faster. Number two is limited reach, meaning you're only targeting the audience segments that are going to respond to those limited set of winners. And the first and second problem really culminate in the third one, which is difficulty scaling. So if you're showing the same limited winners to less and less ideal audiences, which is what happens when you scale up, you're gonna end up decreasing your return on ad spend. So in effect, you didn't actually launch 10 to 15 creatives. You only launched 1 to 2 because those other ones are getting sidelined because Meta already knows that they're not gonna drive results. So it's not going to serve them. Now, the solution, as you might have guessed, is to dramatically increase your creative volume and diversity, and here's why. At most, you can expect 10% of your ads to perform exceptionally well. So more creative testing means that you'll be able to find more winners. With more volume, you'll also be able to test different angles and messaging to discover what works across different audience segments. This allows you to perform iterations on proven angles and double down on what's working. The end result is you get better scalability while maintaining profitability. Basically, few ads tested means fewer winners, which means it's harder to scale profitably. Many ads tested means more winners, which means that it's easier to scale and grow your brand profitably. And this isn't just a Meta trend, by the way. TikTok advertisers, for example, see a 23% lift in engagement from regular creative refreshes, and Google's responsive search ads outperform standard ads by up to 15%. And that's just from having more creative variety. Now, I know what you're thinking by now. What if I don't have the resources or the team to be able to scale my creative output like that? Let me reassure you that scaling creative volume without an agency or a large team is achievable. Here are a few strategies that you can use to get started. Use Meta Advantage Plus. Meta's Advantage Plus creative tools allow you to take one ad and create several variations with just a few clicks. You can allow the algorithm to change or add certain elements to the ad if it thinks it will improve performance for an individual user. For example, you might allow it to change the placement of your ad copy, or add music to an image ad, or even alter the brightness or aspect ratio. You can even use Meta's generative AI tools to generate primary text options, headlines, and even image backgrounds just with the click of a button. This lets you effectively turn one creative asset into 10 or more with almost no effort. You also want to remix existing assets. You likely already have a lot more creative material than you think you do. That customer testimonial from your website, turn it into a text over image ad. That 30-second product video, turn it into a 15-second one. Or try switching out the hook, or grab still frames for image ads. These small, low-effort tweaks can effectively produce new creatives. Next, we have user-generated content. Incorporating content from real customers and influencers can dramatically diversify your creative library. One easy way to get started is to encourage your customers to share videos or photos of your product in exchange for a discount code or store credit. There are platforms that allow you to automate this process as well, so you can set it up once and have a steady pipeline of creative assets for your ads. The next thing you'll want to do is diversify your creative formats. So you want to experiment with static images, short videos, long videos, highly produced ads, ugly, authentic ads. Like if you know that an angle works well as a static image, for example, it'll probably do pretty well as a short form video. Lastly, use analytics strategically. Pay attention to what the data is telling you, but don't look at it in a vacuum. Think critically about why an ad performed well or didn't perform well, and use that information to form a new hypothesis that you can test. Sometimes a video ad that seems like a loser can actually be turned into a winner just by switching out the first 3 seconds. And this kind of goes to a broader principle as well. You should always be testing your assumptions. You never want to get stuck in the mindset of something always works well for us or something never works well for us. Yeah, you want to learn from what does work well and double down on that, but you also want to be looking for opportunities to expand your creative diversity and test out new concepts and formats so that you can unlock new levels of scale. Meta's Andromeda is going to level the playing field for advertisers everywhere, which is good news and also bad news. The good news is that it's easier and less time intensive than ever before to set up and manage ad campaigns on Meta. The bad news is that there will be more and more competition on the platform as a result of this lower barrier to entry. Your competitive advantage in this new era of Meta ads will be feeding the algorithm plentiful, diverse creatives. More creative volume plus more diversity equals more opportunities for Meta to find winners. If increasing your creative volume and diversity seems overwhelming or overly expensive to you, I totally get it. That's why I created Ad Oven. It's a service that specializes in helping businesses rapidly scale their creative output. We deliver unlimited static image ads with a 24 to 48 hour turnaround, all for a flat monthly fee. And if that sounds at all interesting to you, shoot me a message with the link down below, or you can email me, colin@equitymarketing.org, and I'll show you exactly how it works. Don't leave money on the table. Start expanding your creative volume today because your business depends on it. Good luck and get creative. I'll see you next time.